You know what a big cop-out is for atheists? They love the word spontaneous. They love to say that life spontaneously popped up and the universe spontaneously came into existence. But the law of non-contradiction is contrary to this, because the law of non-contradiction tells us that in order for something to spontaneously come into being, that would mean that there was no external force. There was nothing outside of it creating it. So the universe cannot spontaneously pop into existence unless the universe already existed. In other words, to say that the universe made itself, you would have to say that the universe already existed. How can something make itself? I can't make myself unless I'm already here. Same thing with the universe. The universe cannot make itself unless it was already there. So there had to be an outside force creating the universe. But instead of accepting this, instead of accepting the answer and the logical answer that there was an outside force and an outside thinking force that made laws and made conscious beings and made thinking beings and made order and design, this would be the biblical model of why we have creation and why we have this earth and why we have the universe. And it makes sense. So there really would be no reason to argue about this unless, of course, you had some kind of reasons why you wouldn't want to accept these. And this is what the Bible tells us. The Bible tells us that it's our sin. And it's the fact that we suppress the truth in unrighteousness. We suppress the truth in wickedness because of our wickedness, because of the things we want to do, because we want to be animals. We would love to be just animals because that would get rid of moral responsibilities. But no matter how you feel, no matter what you think, it's not going to change the reality. There are absolute truths. The color of my shirt up here is black. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It doesn't matter if you agree with it. It doesn't matter if you want to say, oh, well, maybe it's brown. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. There are things that are true, and you can try to hide from them. But the more you hide from things that are true, later on they come back to bite you. You know, there's a story, and I don't believe it's actually true, but people will say about ostriches that whenever there's a predator coming, they will get scared and poke their head in the hole. Although I don't believe they really do this, and I think it's been proven that they don't truly do this, it's still a good analogy to use for the creation and God. The ostrich might see maybe a lion coming towards it, and it would get so scared that it'll put his head in the hole. So it's like, okay, I can't see you, so maybe you can't see me. And it'll feel safe because he's no longer looking at the predator that's coming towards him. But we all know that this isn't stopping the predator. The predator's still coming, and he's going to eat him. And it might make the ostrich feel better all the way until it has to die. It might be able to enjoy its last little moment of life. But you know what? If it would have kept its head up, maybe it would have found some way of escaping. Maybe it would have found some kind of way to run up a tree, or maybe it would have found some water it could have got in and escaped. But there's no chance for it to escape by just putting its head in the hole. And we sometimes become this ostrich. We put our head in the hole and we be like, well, I don't want to believe there's a God, so I'm going to put my head in this spontaneous hole that life just popped up out of nowhere, and the universe popped up spontaneously on its own and created itself.
Even I can't understand.
I'm going to put my head in this hole so I can live how I want. But guess what? That lion is coming. And that lion is the Lion of Judah, Jesus Christ. And he's coming back. And when he comes back, he's not going to be nice like he was last time. He's coming back to judge the world. He's coming back to cast many and many more people than will go to heaven, will go to hell. There will be many people being cast into the lake of fire. So it's time for us to stop playing around with God. It's time for us to stop playing around with the things that are obvious. The fact that we have creation points to a creator. The fact that we can think points to us coming from something that thinks. We have a soul. There's more than just our body. Our body, ourself, is not us. A lot of times you might look at a person and think about what they're thinking by what they have on their face or the way that they look, but experience shows us that the appearance can really throw you off. There's much more to a person than what you see on the outside. And there's much more to this world and to the things that we do every day than what we see on the outside. It's a whole nother realm. It's a spiritual realm. You might believe you don't believe in the spiritual realm, but if you believe in things like love, if you believe in justice, these are intangible things that are a part of the spiritual realm. And this is further proof for a God that created them and created the laws that govern our universe and our thinking processes. Something to think about.
Do take good care of yourself.